Welcome back to My View and our exclusive sit-down with CIA Director John Ratcliffe at Langley, who's made it clear under President Trump the agency is being restructured from the ground up. He's rooting out bad actors and restoring the core mission, protecting Americans and putting national security first. The era of a corrupt and politicized CIA is over, and the men and women devoting their lives to our country are being celebrated once again. Nowhere is that more evident than the CIA's private museum. And lucky for us, Director Ratcliffe shared a bit of the rarely seen collection to showcase the agency's covert history. All right, well, Director Ratcliffe, we're here at the CIA Museum. I didn't know this existed, but maybe most Americans don't because...
They don't. It's not open to the public. This is called the greatest museum you'll never see. All of our new officers, we want them to know the history of the CIA. So the museum really provides an opportunity to instruct, to inform, to inspire, for them to understand what they're stepping into. We also use it with agency partners here across the federal government so that they know what the CIA is doing. And we bring foreign liaison partners in as well. So it does serve a purpose, even though many people don't see it, but you're going to see some really amazing things within this building. We have incredible artifacts that really track the history of the CIA.
Well, I'm looking out here, and there's already a lot to see. I can't wait to get into it. But what is one of maybe your favorite items here?
Well, there's so many, but I think I would point you to what we refer to as the Helms letter. So Richard Helms was one of my predecessors as a CIA director. As an officer for our predecessor, the Office of Strategic Services in World War II, he was in Berlin when Adolf Hitler killed himself. 8 days later, on Victory in Europe Day, he took a piece of Adolf Hitler's personal stationery from his bunker and wrote a letter to his son. And he talked about that the world was now rid of an evil in Adolf Hitler, but that thousands of lives were lost so that that might happen. And he said to his son, you know, the cost of freedom is always very high. The cost of ridding the world of evil is incredibly high. Love, Daddy. CIA has always done that, protected the world from evil, from really bad people like Hitler and terrorists throughout the decades, and it really speaks to who we are.
Amazing. We can't wait to see it. Let's go.
All right.
What do we have here? It looks like cigars, a typewriter, but it's not?
It's not. These are some of the tools that our spies around the world through the years have used. We've had spies and assets in foreign countries stealing political, military, technological information. That's at the core of what the CIA is about. People risking their lives to get intelligence, to give us a decisive advantage. What you saw in spy movies about how spies capture information and then get that information out, it has been things like cameras and recording devices, and you not only have to give them the tools to do that, you have to hide that information. So we have things like, you know, shaving cream canisters that serve as concealment devices, or pipes that are radios.
Wow. Do you have a whole team here who must think up all these things, I mean, throughout the years?
So it's fascinating. So, you know, in the James Bond movies, it's Q, right, for MI6.
Good luck out there in the field.
Well, we do have that at the CIA. It's our Directorate of Science and Technology. They create all of our spy gadgets, and I can't really tell you what those are today because we use them. but we also use technology like you know, like the internet. As I said, we do recruiting videos where we recruit spies through the internet, take advantage of the dark web. All of those things is using technology to our advantage in the modern world to recruit spies and steal information.
This is a story that maybe some people have heard, but it really happened, and here's the proof.
Right. There was a movie, Argo, a few years ago, won an Academy Award. And it really, it tells a true story about how the CIA rescued 6 Americans that were stuck in Iran when the fall of the Shah and the Iranian hostage crisis, and they would have been hostages themselves. And in this case, it was, how do we get into a hostile country? Well, it was under the cover of pretending to film a movie, and it required the creation of a fake movie studio, fake movie scripts, fake actors, to go into Iran and to use that as a cover to successfully save the lives of 6 Americans who were stranded there. When we talk about not leaving Americans behind for President Trump, already as CIA director, as you've probably followed, Americans like Mark Fogel and Ksenia Karelina, those were both CIA-enabled recoveries of Americans who were wrongfully detained and were in captivity and were brought home. So many of our successes here at the agency we're not able to talk about, but they saved the lives of Americans every single year.
Wow, amazing stuff.
Lara, we talked about the silent sacrifice that CIA officers often make, and this part of the museum reflects that. So one of the exhibits in here is the weapon and pack of Mike Spann, who was a CIA officer. He was the first American killed in Afghanistan after the 9/11 attacks, and we went in. CIA were the first on the ground in Afghanistan. You also see 7 stars there. That represents 7 other CIA officers who were killed in a terrorist attack in Khost, Afghanistan, at one of our forward operating bases. We have 140 stars like that on the wall. And, you know, I'm fortunate is that we didn't add any new stars to the wall this year. And I'm hoping that that continues to be the case as long as I'm the director. But the truth is, CIA officers risk their lives every day in the hardest, most difficult places to keep Americans safe.
As director of the CIA, you're a former director of national intelligence. There's so much that comes with this job. Is that heavy every day when you go home to know you can't tell anyone about so much that you learn here on a daily basis?
I just do every day what my officers do every day. They go whole careers, some people 30, 40 years, whose whole identity is hidden from the public. Lara, it's just an amazing privilege for President Trump to have given me the opportunity in both of these roles to be trusted with America's most sensitive national security information. And that's really what drives why I want the legacy to be that President Trump, at the end of the day, makes the CIA great again.
I think we all know who this is, but this is a very nice note written to the people here at the CIA.
We're not a political organization, right? We're apolitical in the way we act, but the president is the commander-in-chief, and so our job as the CIA is to make sure that we take our immense capabilities and apply it to his priorities, and he's very happy with us pursuing the things that he wants us to do to keep Americans safe, and it's just a great privilege for us to do that.
Well, I love what he wrote. He said, "To the CIA, I am very proud of you. You are the world's best." And I think, Director, we can all agree on that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.